some Fridays at the end of the school day, ready to leave on a jet plane.
Probably,
Just for a little bit of relaxation. Can't imagine the job that Dr. Donald Aguillard has and the issues that come up with one, especially this weekend, getting a lot of attention.
Yeah, and Superintendent, thank you so much for being available to us this morning. We appreciate your time.
Sure, my pleasure.
I want to talk with you. There was a news story that came up this weekend that was discussing complaints by a student in the Lafayette Parish school system that had to deal with a bus driver. If you would kind of give us the details of what you know of the situation.
Absolutely. Well, the event took place on the very first day of school, which was Thursday, August 11.
Mm-hmm.
The student in question catches an afternoon bus back home in the Scott area. The bus driver was brand new on the job, running a brand new route, and the bus was essentially ESL students being transported back into their home zone.
Mm-hmm.
And the bus driver is concerned about where these kids need to be dropped off. He asked all of the kids to move from the back of the bus to the front of the bus because he wanted to get directions from them about where to stop for the drop-off.
Okay.
The young man was uncooperative, to say the least. He did reluctantly move to the front of the bus, but he never did help the bus driver in terms of where should he be dropped off. Subsequently, he was on the phone, presumably with his mother, although I'm not certain of that, and was speaking in Spanish. The bus driver felt like there was some profanity directed toward him. At least that's what he understood with his limited Spanish dialect.
Okay.
He told the student to speak in English, and
well, yeah, because how is he going to help him get to his drop-off point if the kid doesn't speak to him in English?
He was going to be unlikely to be able to help him. What is interesting is that this particular student has been in the Lafayette Parish school system since February of 2014 at Lafayette High School.
All right.
He has been in ESL classes this entire time. He has and is currently making good academic progress, passing core subjects. And so what we had was an unwillingness to help the driver. What subsequently happened was the driver was making stops along the way, and the child just suddenly bolted from the bus. And the driver immediately followed protocol, called the police. The police responded. Police told the driver to continue with his route. Turns out the bus was about 2.5 miles from this child's drop-off point. So the bus was headed in the right direction, but the child left the bus unexpectedly. Now, that was the first day of school. We were closed Friday and then all of the following week.
Right.
We fast forward to Monday, August 22nd. The child does not ride in the morning. He approached the bus in the afternoon at Lafayette High School, and the driver said, "Hold on, you need to be cleared by Lafayette High School administration concerning the incident that took place on Thursday."
Yeah, because how do you know this kid's not going to just decide, oh, yeah, I'm going to jump off the bus again?
That is correct. So the child did not get on the bus Monday the 22nd. The driver never saw the child again until and then we fast forward to the story breaking at 10 p.m. Friday evening.
This past Friday evening.
Remember, this incident took place on Thursday, August 11. So the child has subsequently transferred from Lafayette High School back to Acadiana High School. That's his home zone.
Okay.
He's in ESL classes. I presume he's still making good academic progress. And what we had here was not a bus driver being discriminating against a young man. We had a young man who was unwilling to help the driver simply identify where's the stop to drop me off.
Okay. And see, that's what I'm confused about. I don't even understand how the media even gets involved in that. Were y'all contacted? Y'all were contacted too.
We were not. Typically, these kinds of allegations would either come to my office or Joe Craig or Annette Samick. And we were not given an opportunity to respond or investigate this situation.
So someone else apparently, because they did have a statement as part of their story. It almost seemed like it was just kind of vague, though. Was it someone else that gave a statement then?
Well, what happened was we issued a press release yesterday, and we acknowledged there were 2 bus driver incidents we were investigating, both involving ESL students. So I think our spokesman, simply referred to the one we were aware of, which was a driver who was absolutely refusing to make a left turn to drop off a student. That got mixed with the story that broke Friday evening. As we sorted out the details, we realized there are 2 different events taking place.
Yeah. Okay.
Both with ESL students.
That's that whole process very fascinating now. Okay. All right. So the one with the other bus driver, is that bus driver the one that wouldn't take the left turn? Is that bus driver still driving a bus?
Well, that's a personnel matter.
Okay.
And I'm really
Fair
not
enough.
at liberty, although I will tell you that case is closed.
Okay, the case is closed. We
So
know that.
basically, from your view, Dr. Aguillard, the fact that the student was speaking Spanish is really a non-factor, because even if it was an English-speaking student who wouldn't tell a new driver where his house was and how to get to his house, and I mean, that all kind of played into it, that would still basically put us in the same situation where we are, which a student who spoke English as their only language bolting from a bus. That's how it would have happened anyway, right?
That's correct.
Wow.
Well,
okay.
Makes sense.
So this thing developed legs of its own, and just, it's unfortunate. The reality is we transport 30,000 students daily, twice a day, and the first day of school is difficult for new drivers. We provide them turn-by-turn directions for the route, but these were high school kids, and so you have to depend on high school kids to say, look, stop at this corner, drop me off here.
Right, yeah.
And that just did not happen, and it's unfortunate that it went to the media before we had a chance to investigate.
So, to your knowledge, the mother did not complain to the school, or to your knowledge, the student didn't complain to the school either?
We have not received any complaint from the parents.
But they went to the media?
Yes, they did.
Wow. Now, let me ask you this. We don't know the answer to that. I was going to ask you something we don't know the answer to. And that is, was the whole story, I guess, discussed at that time, but you have no way of knowing that.
And it was a story that also came out over the weekend when district offices were not open.
Right. So you said the story got some legs of its own, like it got spread, or what happened?
Well, I think it broke on a TV station 10 p.m. Friday evening, and of course, we had people outraged that one of our employees would discriminate against an ESL student, but that's not really what happened.
Right. Okay. Our superintendent of Lafayette Parish Public Schools, Dr. Donald Aguillard, giving the whole story, giving the full dimension of everything. That's why we really appreciate the time that we have on our show to be able to get through a lot of different things and, be able to get the whole aspect of everything. Dr. Aguillard, thank you for taking the time. We appreciate it, and obviously we'll keep posted to see if anything else develops.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Interesting stuff. All right, we'll get this story up and this interview up at kpel965.com shortly. It's 6:49.
Doesn't it? Okay. When did it become, and y'all can tell me what you think, is it, I want my 15 minutes of fame? What is it that motivates people to go to the media before they go to the party that is the one that can deal with the situation?
I think you have a twofold situation. You have one side of it that wants to actually get something done. Those are the ones who would go to the school board, because if you really want to get something done, you will prevent it from happening to other students if you really had a concern.
Right.
The other side of it are those who show up. We've seen it with the flooding so far. Every time there's a train derailment, every time there's an earthquake, something to show up because they want to collect on damages. And that is this, in my opinion. It's what it looks like from 10 miles up.
Okay.
It's unfortunate.
Okay, now totally separate issue real quick. Just want to remind people who are listening, if you think there is something going wrong with any of the kind of benefits that are being worked for right now, in other words, like the food stamp benefits, housing or whatever, you can report that to your local law enforcement agency.
Yeah, and also Attorney General Jeff Landry's office also fielding calls, especially due to fraud, price gouging, anything like that as well. All right, 6:50, very